Okay, sorry folks, I had a weird family barbecue thing going on, but now I'm back and. Wait, what do you mean the captain is in a coma? Like, weird poison mist in their room? Was it Chat Noir again? That's what we're looking into? Yeah, sure, called me in. Hi, I'm Ducky, and today I want to talk about Chat Noir 5-star uncap Fate episodes, and how they managed to make a somewhat forgettable character into a somewhat cool one. Stealing your heart after the intro. The thing with Chat Noir is that he doesn't have a lot of screen time. Kind of in character for a Phantom Thief, I guess? But this is aggravated by the fact that 90% of said screen time is from 2016 or earlier. We all know how bad early Granblue writing is. Because of this, Chat Noir was always seen simply as a joke character, not exactly a comical one, that would be Barawa, but in the sense that he existed only as a token character, the mandatory Magic Kaito reference. There was little to his own merits. It doesn't help either that he was always an extremely mediocre unit, even after 4 rebalances. But one thing that Chat Noir had going for him, other than his extremely homoerotic sexual attention with Barawa, was his mysterious teacher and crime mastermind, Rhinebeck, the Merchant of Death. In a rare moment of good writing from 2016 Granblue, they set up this character that has a very cool concept. An eminence in shadow, someone pulling the strings from behind the curtains and setting things up for their own benefit. It kind of overlaps a little with the foe, the bad guys from the society events, so I understand why they decided to leave this one in the fridge for so long. But it has one very important distinction, and that is the fact that Rainback works alone. The foe is scary because it's a big organization that stretches across the Skydomes. But a single guy, all by himself, being able to have as much power and control as Rainback has, that is also scary in a totally different way. He was introduced in 2016 in the story event Detective Barawa and the Unfortunate Fortune, but since then we have had radio silence on the topic. That is, until 2022, where we saw one of his plans in action during Full Metal Man 7, The Last Mission. Under the disguise of Heinrich, he threw an entire country into civil war and killed a bunch of people just to get his hands on a biological weapon. In Chat Noir's uncap episodes, we finally see another move from Rainback. It's not exactly clear why, but it looks like he's trying to get his former apprentice back. And the fact that he kept mentioning a body preservation device raises a few red flags. My personal theory is that, with all the talk about how his body is deteriorating, maybe he's trying to steal Chat Noir's body? That sounds insane, but these guys are so good at stealing things. But the point is that these Fate episodes bring back a topic that has been dormant for quite a while, refreshing everyone's memories on it and leaving enough loose threads as to let us have an event later on. At the same time, it still manages to have a decently satisfactory climax by itself, so as not to let the players feel cock-blocked. It also had the participation of so many side characters that it felt like an Avengers Assemble moment. We got Barawa, Rick, Catherine and Jamil in the spotlight, and mentions of Chico, Fif, Nehan and even Shao. Be honest, did you even remember who Shao was? I completely forgot about him. And honestly, this by itself is already cool. Despite also being a Phantom Thief, we never saw Catherine interact with Chat Noir. Getting both Detective Rick and Detective Barawa to interact feels like an obvious choice. And more importantly, finally bringing Jamil, a very cool character, to something resembling a serious plotline is a big win. This is pure speculation on my part, but maybe they picked Jamil in particular because of voice actor connection. He's voiced by Nobunaga Shimazaki, while Chat Noir is voiced by Yoshitsugu Matsuoka. Anyone who follows the VA world knows that these two have a history together, of voicing characters that are close. They have a very good chemistry for the type of relationship we saw between Chat Noir and Jamil. Just a theory though. And the closing scene, where Chat Noir enters by the window and just sits there while talking to the captain, was a very cool moment by itself. to the point I think it deserved its own mention. Overall, this uncap was necessary to set up Chat Noir as a 2024 character, saving his only good beats from 2016, while throwing an entirely new coat of painting on the rest. Chat Noir is cool now, and is more than just a ship token character, and I'm really excited to see more on Rainback and how Jamil and Katerin will get mixed into this plotline. And that's it for this video, thank you all for watching. What did you think about Chat Noir's uncap? Let me know in the comments. Anyway, this was Ducky, and I'll see you all later.